What's up, guys? We're in for another one. You guys remember this, right? This lecture? This was really important stuff. And yeah, very, very, very important stuff here. But we're going to have to erase it. If you want to know what we wrote here, what we discussed it before, watch my video that I uploaded before this. And maybe I'll leave it in the link description below for you guys to see. But let's go ahead and erase this. Okay, cool. So we're back. Before we start this, guys, I just want to kind of tell you, this video is basically going to be about assuming things. And it's a video that's going to help you, aid you in your research to find legitimate credit repair companies and being able to distinguish them from non-legitimate credit repair companies, and just being able to help you do your research. So here at Pinnacle, we don't have a sales team. It's all inbound. People can choose to work with us or not. And it's all based on their level of comfortability and their level of the research that they do. All my clients that I work with are generally pretty happy and satisfied and continue to pay me on a monthly basis as well, and even bonuses. And they wouldn't give me bonuses if we didn't have success, right? So before we go into that, because this is really, really important, I'm sure that you would really want to watch the rest of this video because it's going to help you, and it's going to help you with other things and other aspects of your life. Being sumptuous, okay? So let me tell you a story about a buddy that I have in, I think it's in Washington somewhere, Washington, D.C. Name's Daniel. I think he's a doctor. And we used to hang out and stuff. And I remember there was this one Korean chick. He's Korean. There's one Korean chick, there's one Asian chick that I was talking to, and we were just in the conversation. We were just on dating apps and stuff, and I was talking. I was like, you know what, hey, this chick's gonna like you, man. This chick I know is gonna like you. I'm like, this is the girl that you want. And then he immediately interjected and said, Andre, how do you know that? How do you know? And he said, how do you know that? Then I kind of like was paralyzed. I'm like, I don't know that. And he's like, that's what you think, Andre. That's what you hope, Andre. But you don't know that. You don't. And so he stopped me, and I was like, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a possibility, but you can't say that she likes me, and you can't say that I will like her. Then I was hit with reality. I'm like, you're right. What if he doesn't even like her? So then I began to stop myself, and I realized, you know what? I was in the assumptuous mode. A lot of people assume things because they're lazy. People are lazy. They want information. They want answers right now. And so we have a bias with our brain that we begin to justify the information we have available to us and formalize an answer. It's like dreams. So when do dreams make sense? Dreams don't make sense. And so our subconscious mind is randomized thoughts to where we go in the stage of REM sleep. Our subconscious is activating, it's on. And so our brain tries to make sense of all this stuff, and then it makes the dream, and it doesn't always make sense. And there's people that try to interpret dreams, and the thing with interpretation is that you can interpret it the way that you want it to be or how you feel. You can interpret things in many different angles, many different perspectives. And you could get benefits from that. Like people that they flip tarot cards. They're flipping tarot cards. These tarot cards are all assumptions. They're presumptions based upon randomized cards to which you can find any single solution when you throw things down. And in totality, it's been beneficial for people. That's why they continue to pay tarot card readers. Does that mean they're psychic? Does that mean these tarot cards have mystical energy? I don't think so. I don't know. But what we can say is that you don't know what these cards mean, but you can give them meaning. You can give anything meaning, and you can attribute things to that card and create whatever interpretation you want, and it could be beneficial. You could receive some benefit by interpreting things and flipping the scripts and changing your perspective on things that happen in your life, and it could be beneficial for you. But it doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. That's different. Much like Pinnacle, there's people that assume things about us. There's things that people assume about me, and when they've never done any business with me. There's people that assume that we are a scam, but those are all assumptions. They're not based upon anything. They're really not. We have too many good reviews. We have great results. And I post content like this every day to help you guys. There's no pressure. There's people out there that you may run into, or you might see something online that are saying things, that are saying assumptuous things, and that are causing basically propaganda. Well, you have to question, why are those people spreading those things, right? It's mainly because they're jealous, they're a competitor, or they're just negative people. Here at Pinnacle Credit Repair, we have a whopping of clients. We've been around for 10 years, and we need to continue moving on to help these individuals. I had a call earlier with a guy named Scott, and another call with a guy named Christopher, and other calls. These guys have things to do with their lives, okay? They believe in me. They believe in Pinnacle. Pinnacle is here to stay, and we've been going strong, and we're not going anywhere. I've created this channel. I don't need to have a YouTube channel. I hated YouTube channel. The only reason why I started a YouTube channel is to challenge myself. We've had long success through other media, such as Google, which is actually bigger than YouTube and is actually much, much better, because when people go on YouTube, they actually do better research. I mean, when people go on Google, they do better research, okay? They go down the list and they read. YouTube is more about entertainment. You'll notice the credit repair gurus and credit repair experts, they're using animations and they're using graphics and they're using all these hype things, and they're hyping you up to get you in an emotional state. And that's why they're successful. Because here's the thing, when you have a credit repair customer, all right, you have someone that is desperately wanting to fix their credit and anxious to get results and excited to actually start. Those are terrible combinations. There's like a guy going to the strip club. He is desperate for female attention. He is desperate for sexual attention because he's sexually frustrated. So he is in a desperate state. He's anxious because he knows these girls want his money and he could pay for their dances. And he's excited because when it's his turn to get the lap dance, she is all on him until he cannot afford to pay her. But guess what? He loses his money. You could lose your time. The sad part of this is people don't value their time as much as they do money. YouTubers know this, and so their mechanism is to shield themselves from accountability and to give you all the information to repair this stuff. They're like saying, you know what, we know it's high risk to do a credit repair company because Lexington Law got sued for $1 billion from the CFPB for just violating the telemarketing sales rule. Does that make them a scam? They're not a scam. No organization, not even the federal government, not even the CFPB will call them a scam. You can't just call people scams because it's not proper. It's not intelligent. It's not appropriate. And it's not even accurate. That only sounds interesting to stupid people. But I'm sorry, if you want to excel in life, you can't just listen to people that have opinions. You can't just listen to people that are assumptuous. You can't assume things about people. You just don't. You can't just blame people. You can't accuse people of things that they're not responsible for. You just can't do that. It makes you sound like a stupid idiot. In front of a smart millionaire, they're going to look at you and they're going to look at how you evaluate life. And they're going to be like, you know what? That's why you're broke, son. Any millionaires talk a certain way. Rich, successful people, they talk a certain way. Broke, stupid, poor people, they talk a certain way. You can't just assume things. Good people are going to find the middle ground. They don't want to judge other people. They don't want to get into conflict. They want to avoid conflict by any means, but not be a wimp. But they're like, you know what? Okay, let's just start off on a positive note and create a solution and a resolution. Let's not delve into pointing fingers and causing controversy. Unless it benefits your social media. Look at Andrew Tate. He caused polarity and it got him famous, and then it got him in a little bit of trouble. So you have to understand, YouTube, there is a section for education and entertainment. Most of these people want to entertain you. And the smart way to entertain you is convey it through education, where they mask the entertainment through education because they know the information they have is just a bunch of BS. But you can buy into it. So these YouTubers, what they do, they know you're interested. They know there's a demand for the market, for the attention. So they're going to give you all the tricks. They're going to give you all the cheat codes. They're going to give you all of that on a silver platter, but you will watch one video and you think you know it all because you're impatient. You want to get one video and get all the truth and then do it. You're going to dispute it. And then you're going to run into problems to the point where you messed it up. You dug yourself a hole deeper than you could afford. And then you give up and you try to hire someone, and then maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it works a little bit. And then what? You waste your time. Be more precise in your dealings. Be more precise. Leverage the expertise of professionals. And that's why companies like badcredit.org and even money.com. Money.com is the biggest financial website online. They have wrote articles and featured Pinnacle Credit Repair. They're experts in finance with degrees, with accolades that have been in the credit repair industry for many, many years, even more so than me. I'm only 30 years old. My mentors have been in since the 80s. The Fair Credit Reporting Act came in the 70s. I was born in the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. So I'm a young cat compared to these other guys. They still recognize Pinnacle. These are the people that you want to listen to because they are unbiased. We do not pay for advertising. We do not pay for press rights, for PR. If there's a federal judge and said, hey, did you pay this guy to write? No, we didn't pay a single cent to anyone to write anything about us. That's the God honest truth. So you have to factor that. If you are a person with intellect and not a presumptuous and assumptuous person, you're going to say, well, if these companies are collecting incentives from these credit repair organizations to make posts about them, but Pinnacle is the only one that doesn't, and he's featured on there voluntarily by their experts, that means they're doing something awesome. See, if you just type in badcredit.org and my company, you'll see they've wrote several articles that I actually had no idea about until today. But it's awesome that they're writing articles about us, and these editors, they don't pick any company and just throw them on there, even if you can pay them. They actually have to have some degree of credentials, and you could even see right here the author's information is right there. And it's 100% transparent who these people are and why they rank them and why they feel that we should be on or even mentioned. And so it's pretty much an honor, and it's awesome that we're on these things. And then we can even change this to money.com and then Pinnacle. We all know money.com. They're pretty legit, right? As you can see right here in the snippet, 7 best credit repair companies, August 2023, money.com has mentioned us. So, like I said, we're pretty well known. Money.com is a legitimate company, and they are somewhat endorsing Pinnacle and saying great things about us. Recently, we had this guy 3 weeks ago. I had no idea. I thought it was one of the trolls that were making BS reviews about us. But actually, this review of this guy, his channel is Switty Kiwi something. This guy is legit. This guy is someone you can trust. So I'd highly encourage you to watch reviews like this guy's video, as they are pretty much unbiased and accurate to the T, and they're a fair assessment. Don't listen to trolls, people. They have a huge bias, and they're just going to dissuade you and try to influence your opinion and try to paint a bad picture of Pinnacle. Now look at bestcompany.com. You can see Pinnacle Credit Management, Pinnacle Credit Repair, the same thing. They have we have 108 positive reviews and awesome reviews here. Let's go to Best Company, and okay, all right, so these are like their section for all the credit repair companies. Now you're going to see on this list Pinnacle is top 5. We've pretty much dabbled within the top 5 for many years, and you know, they're weighed against other credit repair companies. Now take a look at this. There are other companies with different levels of reviews. As you see, 254 reviews there, 1,000 reviews here, and even Lexington Law, 3,000 positive reviews right there, mixed reviews. But we are in the top 5, which is great. excellent. You can see the score. It's fully transparent how they rate the company. And as you can see, look at this, where it says verified partner. We're not a verified partner. You can see exactly what a verified partner is here. We're not. Maybe we should, but here's the thing. We're not paying these companies to write anything about us. That's the point here. That's the caveat. That's the takeaway here. Okay? And that's what we have to value. So again, there's nothing more credible than that. 8,558 reviews, and out of 180 companies, out of 180 credit repair companies, we're top 5. So that says something. That's who you're working with. Okay? So anyone that's saying anything negative about us, it's not really going to hold any weight. So think about that. You really have to think outside the box. Don't be like everybody else. Another thing I want to mention before we go in, because I'm going to dive in to this industry and it's going to give you guys a breakthrough. All right? You guys are going to get a breakthrough in this video. I promise. I guarantee you. All right? Now here's the thing. Where was I going with this? I forgot my train of thought again. Well, let's just talk about something else. So these credit repair people on YouTube, they know that they can just give you all the tips and tricks and their hands are clean because YouTube is paying them. They're like, okay, I can keep you guys entertained and then YouTube will pay me. Then when they know you run into a problem, they'll upsell you on this product, which it's no disrespect. I'm just aware of the mechanism. I understand how that mechanism works. It's attention arbitrage to give you that free stuff, but it's not free. It's not free. They're acting like they're doing good for humanity. They're not. They're trying to upsell you later. It's a mechanism of manipulation. They're manipulating your attention span, and they're profiting from it in the masses. And their risk is low, and it's actually smart. It's actually smart. But is it effective? It wasn't effective to my clients. My client Scott, my client Chris, and other clients, got so many I'm working on this morning. They're showing me stuff on YouTube. I can show you a screenshot of the stuff they show me. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I know it. I know it. I know it. They've tried all that junk. It didn't work for them. So anyway, they're showing you the tips and tricks, but here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that. My last lecture, we talked about chess. It's a very awesome game. I love chess. Been playing it for years. My roommate in high school, because I actually ran away from home, I didn't have the upbringing from my natural parents. I actually was emancipated at the age of 14, borderline illegal, but somehow it worked out that way. And then later, I got that dependency override thing and, you know, was emancipated, blah, 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 later down the line. But I lived with my friends during my teen years, and my roommate was the president of the chess club, and he taught me a lot about chess, and he's actually a bankruptcy lawyer. Remember that. So one of my good friends, his name's Tree, he's a bankruptcy lawyer in San Jose, California. He was my roommate, was a former president of the chess club, and I was the president of the martial art club, but he was my roommate. So I had this chess. I've always been playing chess, so let's reference that. Chess has 64 squares, and a pawn doesn't stand for pussy. Pawns can be very effective, but they're called pawn. Pawn is a deep English-rooted word. You can pawn means you borrow, you can give, you sacrifice. Like when you pawn something, you're sacrificing something. Like if I were to pawn, let's say I pawn something of value. Let me give this, what we've got here. Say I pawn something. I pawn my car. I pawn my tools. My dad used to pawn his tools. He was a carpenter, and he needed to borrow money when he had 6 kids, and he had to borrow money to make things meet. And he would always pawn his tools. And yeah, he would sacrifice his livelihood just to get money. It's unfortunate. But that's what pawns are. Because pawns, you can sacrifice these guys, but you can win the game if you do that. So you're going to have to understand your assets from your liabilities. Assets from liabilities in everything. Assets and liabilities are everything in life, okay? Sorry for my Dr. Genius handwriting. Okay. So here's the thing. Let's say I'm a YouTuber. Okay. And I give you the rule book. Well, I'll give you the playbook, my playbook. And this is the creditors. Okay? These are the creditors right here, and this is the bureaus. Okay? And I'm going to give you all of my knowledge. On public YouTube, on the public YouTube channel, that even the creditors and the bureaus have access to. Congratulations, you idiot. You just helped the opposition. Has anyone ever realized that? If you're sharing information, if you're sharing strategies and tactics and plays and rules on a public platform with the so-called enemy, you know, there's like something called attorney-client privilege, where like the other attorney can't talk to the client, you know what I mean, without, you know what I mean? If you're a lawyer, you know that stuff. And there's reason for that. There's rules to the game. It's just a game. If you're caught colluding with the other side, you know what I mean? It's dangerous. It's a risky game. So you're basically giving the other player your rule book. If you're in a fight or if you're in a match, a football game, and you gave the other team the play that won the Super Bowl, you're not going to win in the Super Bowl one time. Hold on one second. People don't realize that. Why would I give all my knowledge to these guys? You don't think that they can go on YouTube? You don't think that creditors and employees at these banks that work, that are actually doing that, are going to go on there and find out what you're doing? What people don't understand is that they only think about their side. They have what's called, okay, on this side, this is your side, you have what's called perception. But when you put all the rules and all the circumstances and everything online, like an idiot, you have now given them what's called perspective. It's common logic here, but most of you guys are dumb. Seriously, you guys are just dumb. Like, you think that they're not going to use everything that you have put online against you? It's like when you're read your Miranda rights, heaven forbid, or when you go to court, they're like, everything you say, I've been arrested before for speeding and stuff like that and fighting. I'm not afraid of that. One guy was talking shit and I was young and I knocked him out, you know? And that was, I guess, mutual combat. One guy actually, the first investor to my other company before this, ACC, Anne, there was another competing credit repair guy, his name's Cam, and he assaulted her with his, he was like driving to like try to run her over. He sped up and he stopped right there and I had to pull her out of the way. And he stopped, he got out of the car and I didn't even hit him. I was like, bah, bah, bah. He had a mark from his dog because he has dogs and he told the police that I did it. But I got in trouble, went to court, and then everything was dropped. But it was just a whole screwed up situation. But anyway, that's irrelevant to this. But the thing is this, is that anything you say can and will be used against you in the game of life. Especially when it comes to the creditors and bureaus. You have to be careful. You need to understand your assets. Your knowledge that you put on YouTube like an idiot is now a liability. It was an asset when you kept it to yourself. Now you might say, well, why don't you share your secrets? Now it's kind of malicious, or that's covert, or you dummy. That's the name of the game. We're not maliciously misrepresenting things. We're not doing fraud. We're not cheating. We're not lying to people, but you have the right to your privacy. You don't need to take off your pants and show everyone your dick. You have a right to that, it's called a private part. When you go to the gym, it's a locker room. You could say, well, why are you hiding your dick? It's like, why are you hiding your family jewels? Why are you hiding the crown jewel, which is your information? Don't you want to show it? What are you scared of? It's not about having an ego and be like, oh, you're scared. You're scared you're going to be beat. Dude, you're dumb. Like, you don't want to show this stuff to these people. Are you a moron? Everybody knows that. It's like if you're in a fight and you're like moving around, like back in the medieval times, they used to just stand and like punch each other. It's like the slap contest. This is what you people are. This is what the people on YouTube that watch these morons, this is you. You're like, ever seen the UFC slap contest where we just stay there and you like slap the other guy? You don't even move? Is that a form of combat? That's not a form of combat because there's a 90% chance when you get hit on the jaw from a 300-pound gorilla, doesn't matter. You're going to get knocked out or seriously injured. That's not intelligent. You want to minimize your liabilities from your assets. So if you wanted that whole slap competition, you're like standing up to the bureaus on your YouTube channel and be like, yeah, I got all this stuff. What you going to do about it? And you're making it more easy for them. And you're making it more hard for all of us. That's why I've been an advocate of just hiring a professional, and you want to mitigate the risk. People are going to know things. It's okay when they're your clients and stuff. But when you're putting it out in the open, it's just like it's too wild. There's no regulation for this information. Now, there's no law that prevents that. You're not going to go to jail for it, but it's just kind of like common sense. You have to look at the integrity. For me, and by the way, this is all my opinion. It's not a fact. You can agree with it or you can disagree. And I'm glad if you disagree with me, you can keep doing it your way. I'm going to do it my way. Pinnacle is different. And I get criticism. Some people say like, oh, you use Zelle and you don't have a credit card. And it's like, I have credit card terminals and I have credit card merchants. But here's the thing, knowing that you and other people, right, that can just, like you guys defaulted on your credit cards. Why would I want to take a credit card from someone that's going to do that? Another thing is that people volunteer to pay me. We don't force them. Every single month, you roll them. If you were in the monthly program, right? They volunteer to pay. Reduces the risk. Okay, we have our own reasons which are justified, but they're not to scapegoat. They're not to mislead people. They're not to deceive people. They're not to harm people. It's just how we prefer to do business. A method of payment, unless you are sending a Western Union to Zanzibar or Africa, Nigeria per se, the highest scam rate place in the world, I would say that it's pretty legit. It's pretty safe. There's nothing against that, okay? It's all clean money. So that's not an indicator of a scam, okay? It's just an unorthodox way. You can say it's unorthodox, it's different. Well, guess what? If all the bozos that we talked about yesterday, Sky Blue, Lexington Law, this, that, are getting crappy results for everyone, why would we want to copy off the culprit of that cookie cutter way? That's why we're different. Pinnacle Credit Repair, we want to be different. I want to be different. Albert Einstein was different. A lot of the people that are innovative, people used to call Elon Musk crazy for making an electric car. And now look at him. The people used to call the CEO of Amazon crazy because he had a library, an online library, books, right? A lot of smart people get criticized for their intelligence. And if I'm going to get criticized for those stupid things, then I take it as a compliment. It's clear as day. Some people are going to get this and some people are not. I'm not going to battle with you. Your opinion, your perception is your own reality. In your world, that's the bed that you make. If you want to believe that we're a scam, if you want to believe this or that, I'm not going to argue with you. That's your belief. I'm not here to change you. I'm here to work with people that are actually intelligent, actually get this. There are going to be people that disagree with this. I mean, you can come up with an argument. I don't think you can come up with a logical argument against this. Seriously, you're giving your rule book on YouTube to these guys and they're going to F you. There is no way to put it. There is no way to put it. No way to put it. If you're playing chess, now let's use this chess. There's a 5-move checkmate, okay? The 5-move checkmate consists of moving this here out of the way, moving this pawn here, and then they'll probably move here, and then you move the bishop there. Okay, they might move here, They might move here, okay, or there, doesn't matter. And then you move this one there, this one's here, and then this crisscross, and oh, it's actually this one, bishop. This crisscross, applesauce, checkmate. Boom. That's the 5-move checkmate. 5-move checkmate. Okay, you can actually checkmate people in 5 moves, but here's the thing, it's 5 moves, very easy. They can counter that. And if I told this guy, hey buddy, I'm going to have a YouTube channel where I show you the 5-move checkmate. There's actually 5 moves was the quickest move, is the quickest way to checkmate someone. I've actually done this to several people, but it works on a dummy. You're not going to use this 5-move checkmate on a master, a grandmaster chess player. He's going to be like, he's going to know as soon as you move here, okay, there's a chance, there's like 16 different ways, 16 different strategies from one move. A chess master will see when you move this pawn here, there's 16 strategies, okay? Now, when he moves here, he's going to look at where you move now. Now that you moved this here, there are 14 strategies, and for each 14 counter moves, there's 16 different counter moves to those 14. For each every one move, there's a 16 play against those. So it trickles down and it gets into a tree and it breaks down. Everything moves and shifts. It's the same thing with these creditors. When things change, status is altered, things get verified, how it was verified. There's multiple ways to quote unquote verify an item. The timing has to do with it and the frequency of you sending out that dispute. You look at the basic Fair Credit Reporting Act laws that people know, and it's on YouTube. People send it to me all the time. Things come in my feed. It's all basic stuff, but what you don't understand is that if you're just said, hey, I'm going to show you how to move the pawn here, and that's how you remove the collection, you're missing the point, because when they change their strategy against you and formalize 16 plans against your one move, which you're thinking, oh, I learned this move on YouTube, I'm good to go, boom. Then they surround you and fuck you and take your opportunities to get the item deleted and then minimize it to pretty much 0. That's why you haven't had success, okay? You literally effed yourself. You're welcome.